Okay, here's some more examples of using both law of sines and law of cosines. So if I'm looking at, first I always try to use law of sines first because I think it's easier. So if I'm going to try to find angle A, I'm going to, or side A, I'm going to see if I can use law of sines. So I have the angle and I want to know the side opposite. I need to have another angle and side opposite. So I have this angle, but I don't know that side. I have this side, but I don't know that angle. But technically, you can figure out this angle because all of these three angles have to add up to 180 degrees. This angle is 79 degrees. So now I'm going to do law of sines. So I'm going to do sine of 75 degrees is to side A as sine of 79 degrees is to side 12. And then you cross multiply. So it's 12 sine of 75 equals A sine of 79. So to solve for A, I'm going to divide both sides by sine of 79. So this cancels out. This is just a number. You can put it in your calculator, and then you're going to get A. So for B, I would do law of sines again. For B, I would do law of sines. So I would use this again. So I would do sine of 79 is to 12 as, and then use these two. Sine of 26 is to B, and cross multiply. For the next example, if you're trying to find x, I always check to see first if I can do law of sines. So I have this side and this angle opposite, and I have the side opposite of x, so I can use law of sines. So to set it up, I do sine of 125 is to 100 as sine of x is to 60. So I cross multiply, so it's 60 sine of 125 equals 100 sine of x. Divide both sides by 100. This cancels out. So I have sine of x equals this right here. So I'm trying to find the angle measure. So when you try to find the angle measure, you need to do sine inverse. So I do sine inverse all of this in my calculator. Okay, next triangle. Alright, if you're trying to find side B, let's first see if we can use law of sines. So I could put these two together and see if I have another side and angle. I don't. I only have two sides. I have the side, angle, side situation. This angle in between two sides, and I'm trying to find the opposite side. So it's going to be law of cosines. So it's going to be the side opposite, what I want to know, or the angle, equals 26 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 26, 18, cosine of the angle, 26 degrees. So in this case, you're trying to find what B is, so you're going to take the square root of all of this, and that's what you'll get for B. And you'll have to round. It'll be a decimal. Okay, for this one, it doesn't tell us which angle we want, so pretend we want this angle N. So first I try to do law of sines. I cannot do law of sines because I don't have any angles. So I know it has to be law of cosines. So for law of cosines for this problem, I want this angle, so the side opposite this angle is going to be the side that is opposite of the equal sign. So it's going to be 28 squared equals 49 squared plus 45 squared minus 2 times 49 times 45 times the cosine of x, or n. So in this case, to solve for x, what you need to do first is 28 squared. So I'm going to use my computer as a calculator. So 28 times 28, or 28 squared, is 784 equals 49 times 49 is 2401 plus 45 squared is 2025 minus 2 times 49 times 45. So that is 4410 cosine x. So to solve this doing order of operations, you got 784. This is where people mess up the most. So you have to add these two together. This 4410 is stuck with the cosine of x. So I'm going to add 2401 plus 2025. And I get 4426 minus 4410 cosine of x. So a common mistake is for people like combine these two together, but you can't because it says a cosine of x stuck to it. So I'm going to subtract 4426 from each side. This cancels out. So I'm going to do 784 minus 4426. And you get negative 3642. Then you divide both sides by negative 4410. I know this is the hardest part right here, this type of problem. So you're going to divide both sides by 4410. And you get this number. So you have cosine of x equals this decimal. So at the end, you do cosine inverse of this number right here, because you're trying to find the angle. So just take your time on these problems. Make sure you just show your work with all order of operations. You can't do it in one just big square root. It takes a lot more work than that. Okay, and this triangle down here, solve for x. So to solve for x, I would use, let's first, remember I always check to see if you can do law of sines. So if we do sine of 62 is to x, do we have another angle and side length? No, we don't. So we have to do law of cosines. So we have the side angle side situation. So I'm going to do x squared equals 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 times cosine 62. And this is the one that you can just, to figure out what x is, you can just put it in your calculator and take the square root. It's not finding the angle, it's just one step. And then round, you're approximating, so you're going to have to round. And that's it. So the most difficult example is this type of example right here.